WCBI News at 10 starts now.
Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Cash Matlock. The Mississippi Department of Health reports 322 new cases of COVID-19 with 17 new deaths. Mississippi's total number of COVID-19 cases since March 11th now stands at more than 11,000 with 510 total deaths. Currently, there are 428 Mississippians hospitalized with confirmed COVID-19 infection. 45 of the new cases reported today were among residents in long-term care facilities, and there are now 101 active outbreaks of COVID-19 in those long-term care facilities. Well, more than 6,200 Mississippians are presumed to have recovered from the coronavirus. Nearly every state is open in some form across the country. Statewide restrictions remain in place in Massachusetts and Connecticut. But Harvard researchers say only 9 states have met testing levels and are safe to reopen, and the rest have fallen short. CBS News correspondent Danya Bacchus reports from Los Angeles on efforts to balance saving the economy and saving lives.
In an online commencement speech for graduates of historically black colleges and universities, former President Barack Obama criticized the government's handling of the coronavirus crisis.
This pandemic has finally torn back the curtain on the idea that so many of the folks in charge know what they're doing. A lot of them aren't even pretending to be in charge.
The criticism came as U.S. businesses like this restaurant near Sacramento are reopening their doors with new safety procedures.
They wiped off all of the tables. They had menus that were disposable, so people weren't reusing them. I feel like they're doing a really good job, which makes us feel a lot more safe.
Safe behavior is what New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says is needed to prevent a second wave of the coronavirus.
How you act will determine what happens to you. Literally, will I get infected? Well, it depends on what you do.
Cuomo says the daily number of new cases in his state is declining, but he expects to see an increase as certain regions begin to reopen.
Hey, how are you? How you doing?
New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio handed out masks Saturday in a sprawling Queens Park. It's just a few miles from Elmhurst Hospital, one of the nation's early hotspots in the pandemic. And at Metropolitan State University in Denver, freshman nursing students were allowed back in the classroom for essential hands-on training.
To start draw blood, and then she was showing us how to insert an IV line.
It took weeks of conversations with officials from all over campus before the lab class could be conducted safely. Danya Bacchus, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And at first, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration has given emergency approval to an at-home nasal swab sample collection kit that can then be sent to specific laboratories for COVID-19 diagnostic testing.
A few isolated sprinkles across the area today. Most of us stayed dry, but all of those sprinkles to our south and west, courtesy of low pressure there, rotating counterclockwise, ushering in all of that Gulf of Mexico moisture off the Gulf. And that's going to help to increase our rain chances through the day tomorrow. Take a look at what happens as we put this into motion. That low pressure system going to slide basically right on top of us. And you see more and more of that moisture churning up by tomorrow morning. That's going to put us right in the bullseye for some showers and storms through the day on Sunday. Some of those could be on the heavier side with some gusty winds certainly possible. After that, though, cold front moves through, really clears us out and cools us down into the 70s for highs Monday and Tuesday. I've got a full look at our local forecast and a tropical update for the Atlantic Ocean coming up in just a little bit. Cash.
All right, thanks, Trevor. Governor Tate Reeves is making changes to the Safer at Home order, and it will allow another industry to get back to business. Courtney Ann Jackson explains.
Tattoo parlors around the state have been asking, why not us, as they watched other industries reopen. Although the Safer at Home order doesn't expire for another 10 days, the governor giving them the green light now.
I don't want to wait if there are things that we can safely do to allow people to return to work. To that end, I signed a new executive order today. It amends our current Safer at Home order. It allows tattoo parlors to reopen with health guidelines that are very similar to those for salons and barbers.
A few other changes that will impact outdoor activity.
Things like allowing local entities to decide curfews on parks, lifting curfews on dine-in restaurants that do not serve alcohol, and ending the prohibition on fishing tournaments.
I asked Reeves about the complexities of figuring out what industries reopen and what the best practices should be once they do.
Those are the details that take time. And they take time, and it's better to get it right then to get it done quickly. But my goal is to get it done quickly and right for the people who need it.
There's no playbook for something like this, and he made this admission.
We made a mistake. I made a mistake. I made a mistake because I identified essential versus non-essential. There is no such thing, and I've learned this. I've learned a lot, but I've learned this over the last several months. There is no such thing as a non-essential business to the business owner and the employees that depend on that business being functional and operational and paying them so they can provide for their family.
Courtney Ann Jackson, WCBI News.
Governor Reeves is stressing personal responsibility as more restrictions are lifted. Lowndes County supervisors have given the go-ahead to tax incentives for 2 separate companies. This is called a fee in lieu of ad valorem taxes. The agreements would allow a company to pay a one-time fee to the county instead of annual property taxes. Supervisors were told that both firms would generate solar electric power. The names of the solar companies have not been released. Locations for the proposed plants have been located in Lowndes County. Now each company will work with TVA to see if their proposal is accepted.
We have 2 economic development projects that are looking at our area, and they both wanted to have this brought before the board this morning if they were to locate here, that the board would agree to go into a fee in lieu agreement with them.
Supervisors were told that both plants would bring initial investments of at least $60 million to build a facility, in addition to construction employment. Today in Starkville, the United Way and a local church came together to give back. From noon until 3 p.m. at the Starkville Community Church, the United Way was hosting a drive-in food drive. A food drive is not to be confused with a food giveaway. The food collected from the drive will be sent to food pantries throughout the area and then distributed out to those in need. Members from both organizations say they're happy to help in any way they can.
We feel blessed to have the space that we have in general, and so our goal is to use everything that we believe God's given us to bless our community, and that we believe He's put us in this city and in this area to do as much good as possible. And so for us, it's a chance to honor God by using what He's given us, but it's also a chance for us to be a part of helping an organization that's helping so many others in our community.
I think it's wonderful. This church is all about serving the community and being out there and helping people, and the United Way has the same mission to serve and to assist, and I just think it's a wonderful thing for both groups.
For more information on how to get involved, you can visit our website, WCBI.com. Not a traditional ceremony, but an emotional one nonetheless. More on the GTEX graduation when we come back. Stay with us.
You're watching WCBI News at 10 p.m. with Cash Matlock.
Welcome back, everyone. Today is a day that GTEX seniors didn't think would happen. They didn't think they were going to be able to have a graduation ceremony, but they had a drive-through version instead. Our Savannah Gato joins us live in the studio. Savannah, what was that graduation ceremony like?
Cash, this graduation was truly a unique experience. Even though everyone had to practice social distancing, the support from GTEC brought everyone closer.
Well, you know, early on in this crisis, we just didn't know what we'd be able to do, and we hated not to recognize these graduates in some manner. So we decided to try this drive-through graduation so we could keep people socially isolated and keep people separated. And we were concerned, but it's been a pleasant outcome. I think it's been a good day for the parents and the students.
Family and friends gathered together to commemorate the class of 2020 in a special way. Each senior drove by in decorated cars. Each walked to receive a diploma individually.
This was such a great way to celebrate. I'm excited that we could have graduation on the originally scheduled graduation day. We polled the kids and kind of asked them what they wanted their graduation to look like, and they wanted a way to be together. They had requested a parade, so EMCC offered up the university, and it kind of allowed us to put all of those things together and help them celebrate.
These students will be earning not only a high school diploma, but an associate's degree as well.
You know, I think today we just kind of felt all of the emotions because we've watched these kids really put their heads down and go to work over the last 4 years, and then when we knew that we wouldn't be coming back to school, they've missed prom, they've missed senior night, those kinds of things. So to be able to be here today and to be here together as a group has meant the world to me.
Even though these students weren't able to walk across the stage, they still got the recognition they deserve.
I certainly think this is a memorable experience for them. You know, not being able to walk on stage is disappointing and do a traditional graduation, but this is one for the ages. I've been saying it's very unique, getting to drive through and get their picture up on the jumbotron, and so this will be one that we'll remember a long time, and I hope they enjoyed it.
44 students from Lowndes, Oktibbeha, Clay, and Noxubee counties are part of this graduating class.
Certainly some good weather out there for today. Not much in the way of rainfall. Certainly no rainfall in Starkville right now, but I guarantee you by this time tomorrow we will have some rain in Starkville. I'll tell you exactly what to expect tomorrow coming up right after this.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with meteorologist Trevor Burchett.
Just a few sprinkles out there earlier today for your Saturday. Most of us stayed dry though. That's not going to be the story for your Sunday, unfortunately. Hopefully you got all of your outdoor activities today done today, any gardening or lawn work, because tomorrow definitely not the day to do it. We're going to call it a 60% shot for some showers and storms. Fortunately, though, I think for the remainder of the 7-day, we're going to remain mostly dry. We do have the chance for a few isolated showers. That's what those 20% chances are. That's just those summertime pop-up storms, showers and storms in the afternoon. I really think most of us are going to be dry once we get into Monday going into next weekend. Right now in downtown Columbus, a live view from the Lowndes County Courthouse. Pretty nice night out there on the Off Insurance Camera Network. Temperatures already down into the 70s and 60s for a lot of us. We're 70 on the nose in Oxford, 73 in Winona, 77 right now in West Point, Tupelo, and in Columbus, under a partly cloudy sky. Just for a second, I want to take you away from our local forecast and send you over to the Atlantic Ocean. We've got some tropical news breaking right off the wire. Tropical Storm Arthur has officially formed, our first named storm of the season. You see it just a few hundred miles off to the north of Miami. Just a very disorganized system, but still just enough of a center of circulation and some wind out there to reach tropical storm strength. Right now, 40-mile-an-hour sustained winds, pressure down to 1,006 millibar, moving off to the northeast at about 13 miles an hour. And that is good news. That's generally going to take it away from any landforms. You see it's going to basically ride the coastline, going to come pretty close to the Outer Banks of North Carolina. Some tropical storm watches in effect there. But generally, this is going to be a storm for the fish. It's going to stay out to sea and really not cause much of a problem for anyone in the inland. As you see, it's not going to make any type of a landfall. And really, it's going to stay as tropical storm strength. So not a major concern with Arthur. But looking ahead to this hurricane season, officially beginning on June 1st, obviously getting a little bit of an early start today, we are taking a look at some very anonymously warm sea surface temperatures. 80 is the current sea surface temperature out in the Gulf of Mexico, 81 down to the south near Cuba. So really that is one of the main ingredients for tropical storm and hurricane development. When you see anything over 75, that's where you really start to look for some pretty strong ingredients there. So as I mentioned, a forecast well above average hurricane season. So this is something we're going to keep a close eye on. Obviously right now not a major concern with Arthur. 67 for the low tonight, mostly cloudy with just a few sprinkles. And as I mentioned, through the day tomorrow here locally, we'll wake up to a few showers out there. Better chances for showers and storms come in by the afternoon. This is 2 o'clock. You see some heavier downpours, maybe some gusty wind out there. And then that slowly starts to make its way out of here as we get into the afternoon and evening hours. So again, best chance for rain is going to be Sunday. After that, can't rule out some isolated showers through the week. Cooling down Tuesday and Wednesday. Quickly warming, though, back into the mid-80s by the end of the week and next weekend.
Small businesses across the area are reopening. More on this story coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back. Hometown businesses across Northeast Mississippi are reopening as the restrictions imposed by the coronavirus pandemic have been easing. WCBI's Chad Groening visited several reopened home-owned shops in Saltillo.
We do. Are you looking for a specific design or just... Okay, we have several in stock and we'll be here till 4 today. Thank you.
A customer calling into Barnyard Boutique in downtown Saltillo. The store, which specializes in curvy apparel, has recently reopened after the restrictions imposed by Governor Tate Reeves. Owner Tammy King opened the store in October of 2017. She says they had to make some adjustments during the lockdown.
It's really sad that, we had to go to curbside only We were doing it for the safety of my employees as well as my customers. And we were fortunate enough to have the face masks, the hand sanitizers, items like that. But we really did not sell very many clothes or anything because, people were, more worried about the other items. And it really put a bind on my business.
Down the street, Danny Brown of DB's Floral Designs had to do a lot of different things he's never done through the years.
We did a lot of curbside service. We still serviced what funerals we could doing the change, but we were still here for our customers if they needed us. We tied a lot of red bows because people were thanking the people in the medical fields and other things, and as well as bows for Easter. People decorating their yards for the crosses and that kind of thing that a lot of people are doing that time of the year. It's been very good. We've had some loyal customers that stayed with us.
And right next door, Brown's wife Karma opened the Wash Tub Antiques 3 years ago.
Well, we got shut down. The antique shop got shut down for several weeks completely, and that cut down on all sales. And then we could do a little bit of curbside, but people like to shop in the stores with antique shops. But we have had a lot of people come back in. Now, we lost a lot of revenue. We did. But I'm thinking if people will just shop local, then we'll do great and we'll have a great comeback.
Chad Groening, WCBI News, Saltillo.
There are still many businesses, including many restaurants, that are still not open. Well, what if we told you there was a way to boost your immune system and all you had to do is just sit there? More on this story coming up after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back, everyone. Concerns over COVID-19 have put a spotlight on the importance of having a healthy immune system. Overall, medical experts say people with healthy immune systems can recover quicker from the coronavirus than those with compromised systems. WCBI's Allie Martin tells us about a Northeast Mississippi business offering an immune-boosting therapy that's getting a lot of attention.
Regenerative Health Solutions has offered IV immunity boost treatments for some time, but interest from the public has definitely increased in the wake of the coronavirus. Every few weeks, Ricky Rowan takes time out of his busy schedule for an IV immunity boost.
I'm a person that don't like needles.
But Rowan decided to give the therapy a shot after doing some research. The 47-year-old usually gets a mixture of vitamins and an energy boost with each treatment. Rowan says he has seen a big difference in his health and well-being.
I have noticed a difference in energy, in joint health. Overall, feeling good, feeling much better.
Sean Phelps and his wife Amy opened Regenerative Health Solutions and Fuel Supplement and Coffee Shop a couple of years ago. Interest in the IV immune therapy has steadily increased because of COVID-19.
There's a lot more calls, more people coming out for the IVs, and they're getting online, they're finding us, they're looking for ways to boost their immunity now, especially with the coronavirus.
The procedure allows vitamins to get directly into a person's system.
The IV is straight into your bloodstream, so you get 100% absorption of that, whereas if you're taking vitamin C by mouth or something like that, you're going to get about 30-35% of that. So it goes straight into your bloodstream. We give you a high-dose vitamin C also with that IV bag. We give you vitamin B complex, which is going to give you energy. We put calcium and other things in that bag to also help with your health and build your system up.
A nurse actually administers the IV booster. I'm getting a mixture of energy and immunotherapy. It takes about 15 minutes to get the IV boost. Lauren Green is another regular client who says the IV treatments have made a big difference.
I've not had cold or flu. Any of those bugs that typically go around during the winter months. I've not had any experience with that and just kept up our health and felt really good.
The IV immunity boost aren't marketed as a cure for the coronavirus, but medical experts agree that having a strong immune system is a good defense against COVID-19 and other ailments. In Boonville, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
The IV treatments have been used by athletes for years to help them recover quicker, and since the treatments consist of vitamins, there's no FDA regulation. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, Trevor will have a final look at weather.
Off and on showers and storms for your Sunday. Hopefully you got that yard work done today, because tomorrow is definitely not the day for it. Upcoming week looking fairly dry, aside from a few isolated showers. Temperatures back into the 80s next week.
All right, thanks, Trevor.
Yep.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you back here tomorrow.